So the big question is this: how do most agents who struggle to get the information that most successful agents hoard to themselves grow and prosper without this information? That's the big question, and this video cast is the answer. Welcome to Real Estate Rockstars. I'm your host, Pat Hyben.
Congratulations to Latitude Realty, our newest broker in the Rebus University's Preferred Partners Program. Brokers like Ameriteam Realty, Dunes Properties, Impact Real Estate, Long & Foster, yes, Long & Foster with 11,000 agents in multiple states, Plumtree Realty, Real Estate Professionals, Realty Ohio, RE/MAX Advantage, RE/MAX Essential, Agent Strong. These brokers have taken it upon themselves to get their agents significant discounts on all of the 12 Rebus University courses. Their agents are learning from the best and producing like maniacs. If you're an agent at one of these companies, go to rebusuniversity.com right now and start learning today. If you want unpublished pricing for your agents, like these brokers have done, go to hybendigital.com/teams or simply call Catherine Brower at 843-749-9900. That's 843-749-9900. Your agents will be impressed.
And now for the review of the day.
Got a review on the Certified Buyer Agent course with Carrie Shaw. She said, Jason Hennis gave it 5 stars. He said, I wish they included more buyer forms that you could use, but overall, this was an awesome course. Highly recommend it. Hey, thanks, Jason. I'll have to reach out to Carrie and see what else we can start providing.
Keep the comments coming, guys. I love them. And remember, I eat feedback for breakfast, so give me a 1-star review if you want, or a 5-star review if you want. I don't care. And the more reviews we get, the better guests we get. So please, subscribe first, and then leave us a review or wherever you're listening. All right, Rockstar Nation, I have some special guests today. I got Michael and Tanya. They run a company called BrandFace, right? But now here's the key, right? They only, for the most part, work with real estate agents. Michael used to be an agent, broker himself, has a lot of experience in that arena. And we're going to talk about something you may say, oh, that's a cliche, but trust me, it is not. It is not what you think it is. And it is everything that you need to know and understand as our market begins to change. Michael and Tanya, welcome to Real Estate Rockstars.
Hey, thank you so much for having us, Pat. We feel like rock stars on your show today.
That's why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself so they can get to know you better?
Sure, you bet. I'm Tonya Eberhart. I'm the founder of BrandFace, and I started my branding, so to speak, career selling vacuum cleaners door to door to make my way through college. And I stumbled upon a house. I sold a guy a vacuum cleaner. He was an engineer at a local radio station. He said, you know, there's a sales position available in radio. Why don't you try it? Fast forward 18 years later, I was still in media sales. Then I left there to start my own agency and firm, and fast forward to today, I'm on the line with my business partner, Michael, who actually became my personal branding client, my first real estate personal branding client, and I'll let him kind of pick it up from there.
Yeah, I was trained as an auctioneer first off, and then my mentor told me to get my real estate license, so I did so about 1994. Opened up a brokerage in 2000, really just used it to buy my own portfolio, save a little commission, and help family and friends. In 2007, because of my auction past and being a broker, I brokered a piece of property, a sale actually for a company out of Irvine, California. And it turned out to be the first of the Bear Stearns portfolio. And I spent the next 8 years of my life leapfrogging from state to state, getting licenses. I was licensed in 27 states. And we have the confidence of over 68,000 residential transactions. But we knew we were working ourselves out of a job. and I needed to revive that arm's length brokerage here in town, just north of Atlanta, and I hired Tanya to do so with ecstatic results, and she asked me to be a partner and a co-author in the second series of her book series, and then asked me to be a partner. And so that led us to be lucky enough to be with you, Pat.
Wow, that's amazing. And so, a couple questions I have personally. So 8 years you worked for Bear Stearns in building their real estate portfolio on the residential side or on the commercial side?
No, we scored the contract to sell off the REOs that they had in the debacle of 2008, and we thought it'd be about 3 years worth of work, and it ended up being 8 years worth of work. And so I ended up with an office in Atlanta, an office in Irvine, California, and an office in Seattle, Washington, and 27 brokers and auctioneers licenses.
Oh, to get rid of all their.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you don't do that anymore?
No, thank heavens. We worked ourselves out of that, and then the market came back like it was supposed to and stabilized. And then anybody that follows real estate now knows that it's on fire again. And so we came back to Atlanta to revive the brokerage, knowing the need here was going to be strong because of the job opportunities and the people moving in. And so we needed marketing to do that. And we hired Tanya's company to help launch us.
And how long ago was that you more or less relaunched?
2013. Tanya and I started working together the end of the summer, about August of 2013.
And what do things look like now for you?
From a percentage wise, we're probably looking at 1,000% return. First year, we didn't have a lot. I had one agent. We had a couple of sales underneath us. We've closed about $3 million worth of business in the last 45 days. So it's grown. We've got an office in Snellville, and we're looking for a third office location on the other side of Atlanta in the Jasper, Dawsonville area.
And what's your average sale price?
Our average sales price right now is about $190,000.
Okay. And all right, so let's talk about what you did, right? Over the last 3 years, or what Tanya did for you 3 years ago, or longer than that, 4 or 5 years ago. And let's get into some nitty gritty here. Now, you have this thing that you speak on, which is the 7 deadly sins that all real estate agents or most real estate agents make when it comes to branding themselves. And these are not your traditional things that you would think of. And I want to dig deep into them. So let's just do that right away. What is the first mistake or the first deadly sin that real estate agents tend to make when about branding and advertising and marketing?
It's the biggest deadly sin of all, Pat. It is no differentiation. And if you don't have any differentiation, you end up with everybody else in what we call that sea of sameness, where everybody kind of looks the same. You're using the same postcards, the same business cards, the same yard signs, but there's nobody that really stands out. And that point of differentiation really is based upon something we like to say, that great branding isn't about being known for your profession. Everybody knows 8, 10, 12 real estate agents, right? Great branding is about being known for being different in your profession.
Okay.
Well, everybody is different, and we like to say, somebody said one time, "You made a star out of me," and we said, no, we don't make stars, we unveil them. That's because everybody does have those points of differentiation. And I was just on the phone with 2 people today who basically said, I don't know how to do all of this. I'm different in several different ways, and I don't know which one to put out there first. And so we look at branding as this distilling process. Now, I come from North Georgia, from moonshine country, from NASCAR racing, where NASCAR began. So I know a little bit about distilling something, right? so Michael and I have perfected this branding distillation process. So being different can be standing on any kind of hook. So it could be the type of client that you're going after that sets you apart. It could be a unique characteristic or attribute of yourself. It could be some experience that you have in this particular area. It could be knowledge that you have that no one else has, length of time in the business no one else has, and trying to find a super creative way to put it out there that allows people to look at you, and that brand just kind of kicks open the door.
Yeah, because I think about some of those things though. I think of like length of time in the business, and a lot of people think boring, right? It's like, oh, knowledgeable, experienced. I mean, those are just like terrible words, I think, for real estate agents. I mean, so how do you take that, right? How do you take someone that says, okay, well, I've been in the business a long time. How do you differentiate that? I mean,
well, usually we don't actually, because it is super boring, and frankly, no one cares. They don't care.
No.
Agents will tell me, I think I lost a listing to somebody because they've been in the business 15 years and I've only been in it 5 months. And I said, no, you didn't. You didn't lose it because of that.
Right. Yeah.
You lost it because you didn't build enough value in what you have to bring to the table. Either that or you weren't targeting the right person. They weren't really a fit for you. Okay. So there are lots of ways we do it. So if you'd like to give me to give you a couple of examples.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can do that. So let's take, for instance, Gail Flannery is one of our agents in upstate New York. And when Gail came to us, she said, I feel like I just look like everybody else. I do everything everybody else is doing. And I said, well, Gail, talk to me. What's your passion? And she said, well, I really love working with first-time home buyers, although I don't think they're going to be the best fit for me. They're not going to be the higher priced homes that I really want to go for. I also love working with seniors, and I'm a very compassionate person. I've done this my whole life. They really feel bonded with me when they sit down to talk with me. And a lot of people in my area are transitioning, from being in this home they've been in 35 years, don't know what to do with all this stuff, but they know they're either downsizing or getting ready to go into assisted living. So Gail's brand became built around this hook we call your transition agent. So Gail became known as your transition agent. Well, what that really allowed her to do, and that's just the phrase, right? It's just the slogan or the hook. It's not the entire brand. A brand is made of lots of different things. But what it allowed us to do is build around that, the imagery around that, the messaging behind it, in her biography and her elevator pitch, and what we call signature sound bites, which is a series of bullet points that kind of highlight why Gail has that brand. It allowed us to put those things together in such a way that it attracted those people to her. So the next time we talked to her, she said, Tanya, you won't believe what this has done for me already. I haven't even put most of my branding materials out yet. All I've started doing is walking up to people and introducing myself and giving my elevator speech. She said, you wouldn't believe the people that look at me and say, oh my gosh, in transition, that's exactly where I am right now. I want to talk to you. And as a result, after 21 years of being in real estate, she scored her first $1 million listing and sale.
I want you to think about the word toolbox. What is a toolbox? A toolbox is a box full of tools that you use to build something great. At Real Estate Rockstars, we've created our own free toolbox. So everybody that comes on the show as a guest brings a tool with them, and we plow them all into this toolbox, and we give it away for our viewing audience to basically use as they wish. Everything we put in there is an actionable item that can be downloaded, can be printed, can be used immediately. And we got things like scripts and dialogues, checklists for teams, checklists to keep agents accountable, referral forms that are filled out at settlement to get referrals by your buyers and sellers. Everything you could think of that you could use on a regular basis about real estate is included in this toolbox, and it's helping agents worldwide sell more houses and make their jobs a lot easier and processes much more efficient. And the thing is, it's absolutely free. All you got to do is go to hibandigital.com/toolbox or text the word toolbox to 444-999. That's toolbox 444-999. Do it now. So it's kind of with her, it wasn't necessarily about, you know, who she was. It was actually
What she did.
what she did, and the fact that she was out there pushing her brand, right? Explaining her brand to people.
Yeah, it's a myriad of things that have to come together. You have to put yourself out there. You also have to display that brand on every possible piece of marketing material that you can display it on, from social media to your website to all your collateral materials, you name it. It's got to be on everything. Repetitiveness is key.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, what's the second one?
Michael?
The second one, Pat, is no focus. People tend to make this big deadly sin right here. Okay, so when we say no focus, Tanya likes to say just because you can doesn't mean you should. And so one of the things in our branding webinar and workshop is we teach people to look and seek for your ideal customer. And the way this becomes important, obviously, is because we could work with everybody. We're trained to work with everybody as real estate agents, but it doesn't mean we should work with everybody. And if you can focus on certain niches inside of real estate, then you start not only perfecting that niche, but you also attract people that want that specific niche. But at first, people tend to think, oh, well, why would I want to, exclude anybody? And what we teach people is you don't exclude anybody, but you go after the ones that you want. And so in time, with the content that we teach you to build, you attract that ideal customer that you really want to work with. And we help you hone that down.
Okay. Makes a lot of sense. What would you say the third one is?
No authenticity. Meaning, when we assign a brand to someone and really help them create something that fits their personality, it has to fit them both personally and professionally. They have to want to wear that every morning when they go out the door. So if we give them just this, cliche, crazy little tagline that means nothing and is boring to everybody, they're not going to wear that well. It has to be something they feel, something they know about themselves. I'll give you one more example.
Yeah, please. More examples the better, because this is good. Yeah.
You got it. We have an agent down in Fort Lauderdale. Her name's Teresa Stark. Teresa Stark came to us, and she had been living the waterfront lifestyle down there, waterfront social scene around Fort Lauderdale. She and her husband are actually competitive deep sea fishermen. And so they knew the waterways like nobody else. Her point of differentiation was really knowing that waterfront lifestyle from the perspective of a boat owner. So when we branded her, she became your home navigator. That word navigator is often associated with water, but it can also be associated with real estate. I can help you locate or find your new home on the water. So all the imagery that all came with it, that all really kind of pulled everything together. But what made it so authentic for Teresa, and why she touts that brand and absolutely loves it today, is because it was authentic to her. It allowed her to take the personal side of her and weave it into what she did on a professional basis, so people get to know her behind that. Our main mantra, Pat, is people don't do business with a logo. They do business with a person. Mm-hmm. So that allowed Teresa to inject her own personality and story into what she does for real estate.
Yeah, you pretty much see that with all brands now. I mean, whether it's a cereal bar or juice, or everything is starting to get a face, right? Everything is starting to get Russell Brunson, who's an internet marketer, calls it an attractive character, right? An attractive character is somebody you visualize as either the CEO or the owner or the founder, or it could be like a Ronald McDonald, right? There's some sort of attractive character that goes with every business. And I think that's what you're saying there. And people, think that their attractive character is a logo, and it's very difficult to do that.
Yeah, it is. And in fact, if we just put a logo out there, that's going to mean nothing to anybody. It might capture the attention of a few. It might be a clever little statement, but a brand is so much more than that. It's a robust, it has a lot of moving parts and pieces to it. And that's where there's such a misconception about what branding really is.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense. It makes sense. I was at a concert, outdoor concert this weekend, and you know, there's this, they were selling these rum drinks, and I was like, what's the deal with this big tent with all this rum drinks, this Blue Chair rum or something? And then I saw another sign that says, you know, Kenny Chesney's rum. I thought, okay, well, there goes. It makes a little more sense now, right? This is Kenny Chesney's personal rum. It made it feel like, to me, like, okay, I can have a rum drink because it's not just some rock gut rum. You know, this is personally branded by Kenny Chesney. I don't know. So it's everything is going towards that, right? It's very interesting.
It's really interesting, and I'll tell you where I got the first taste of that, Pat, is several years ago. Another company that I was with, we dealt a lot in Nashville with country music artists and helped promote them and their singles and so forth. And a term that was thrown around years ago was called a 360 deal. And a 360 deal went beyond just, I'm going to assign myself to a label and I'm going to get money, you know, the label's going to get money, I'm going to get money each time something sells. It became much more of a 360-degree deal. So now the endorsements are part of it. When you go out to a club, taking part of the door is part of it. The merchandise is part of it. The website and the YouTube, you know, views that generate and monetary gain from YouTube and so forth. All of that became this big part and parcel of this big machine called a sponsorship or endorsement.
Fascinating. Okay. All right. What number are we on? 4?
We are.
Number 4.
Number 4. What do you got?
Number 4. Number 4 is huge, in my opinion. And me and Tanya, we debate on whether or not this is the biggest. Differentiation, of course, is the biggest because you got to start there. This one's no consistency. And I like to say that success is to get to success, you have to practice the consistency that you practice when you can't instantly see the benefit of the results. And so
slow that down. You have to practice the consistency.
Yeah, it's success. Let me say it like this. Success is the consistency you practice when you can't instantly see the benefit of the results. And real estate falls into that category of businesses where, as you well know, because you know real estate, it's a 90-day, 120-day funnel if you started today. And a lot of people get lucky and we're going to have a closing in 30 days. But you have to consistently practice that, unlike a lot of other crafts where you can see some kind of instantaneous success today. You go out and build a deck. You started with nothing. Now you've got a deck built. Real estate doesn't work that way, and most success does not work that way. Most success works in building upon that belief in yourself and practicing that consistency day in and day out and day in and day out through the ups and through the downs.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Okay. Yeah, so you just can't quit, right? You know, and I guess also don't change it, right?
Very important.
Yeah, don't change it, right? That's why Coca-Cola still says the real thing, and you know, McDonald's.
Yeah, I like to say
served. Yeah,
I like to say Papa John's. You know, if anybody's familiar with the Papa John's, I mean, John still hit the face of his brand. He's still on the commercials, and for 30-something years, he's been saying better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. He hasn't changed at all. Domino's changes 3 times a month. That he has never changed, and I love it. I love it because every time he's on there, you know exactly what he's going to say at the end.
They say that as soon as you start getting sick of a logo or something or a brand name, is when people start actually paying attention to it. You know, when you start getting tired of it, people start noticing it.
Right. We may have this in common, Pat. When I was in radio sales, and clients would call me up and say, I'm tired of running that same commercial. Can't we change my commercial up? And I'd say, absolutely not. Turn off your radio and stop listening for your commercial because not everybody else is doing that. You know, just when you get sick and tired of it and want to cuss me out about it, the rest of your public out there is just beginning to learn who you are.
Wow. Yeah, good stuff. All right, what do you got for number 5 there, Tanya?
No content. So if the reason people come into our program and really go after that whole personal branding aspect to set themselves apart is to become known as an authority or an expert in their chosen niche and market. And you can't do that without explaining why you are the authority. So you need to consistently put some type of content out there. And as we like to say, it doesn't mean you need to write War and Peace. You know, you don't have to blog like 5 times a day, but you do need to figure out what sets you apart. What knowledge do you have to share that no one else has, like you asked us to do here today? We ask our clients to do the same thing. Tell your ideal customer something they're not going to get anywhere else, and showcase why you're the choice for them to go with. Put that out there on a consistent basis, and if you don't do that, you're not going to get as far. Will you still become famous? Most likely, possibly you could with all the other elements, but with this one in tow, there's no doubt that you will not only become well known and sought after, but you're going to become known as an authority.
Yeah, you got it. Content's everything nowadays, right?
You bet.
People don't want to do it because it's arduous, right?
Right.
Yeah, it flat out sucks.
Yeah. and it's hard to be unique. It's hard to be different because everyone's talking about the same stuff, right? I mean, I can't tell you how many emails I get from real estate agents today. I mean, I'm on everyone's list. I don't know how, but I'm on everyone's list, right? People from all over the world, and they send me common stuff that they're sending out about how, you know, why not to overprice your house, or you know, how to get your house ready for sale, or you know, just the benefits of using an agent. The stuff that is sent out, the content that is sent out is so ridiculously commonplace and boring. I understand why other agents don't want to create content, because you really got to think, you know, because the content out there sucks.
Yeah, it sucks, and what's possibly worse are the headlines. Because the headline might say, you know, instead of saying, you know, how to sell your home in 5 days, what if you could say how you make your neighbor mad by selling your home before he can sell his, you know? Something that's a little more provocative and interesting. But you're right, it's a lot of the same type of content, and that's, you know, where that point of differentiation comes in as well, is that you don't have to put out as much content, but when you do, it needs to be memorable.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Michael, what do you got? Number 6.
Yeah, number 6 is no call to action. We see this all the time in advertising, and agents will they'll take their glamour photos, they'll put them out there, you know, it's sort of generic, the same, they got them on the card, you know, not usually, but a lot of times they'll have their brokerage logo, you know, 4, 5, 6, 8 times bigger, as if that's the real attraction. But people need to know how to use you as a real estate agent. And that goes back to what we were talking about earlier, when you're shooting for that ideal customer. People will come up with all the excuses in the world not to use you, especially when they don't know how to use you. But when you were leveraging that point of differentiation and you're going after that ideal customer, and you add a call to action to it, now you have exorbitantly improved your chances of somebody reaching out to you that wants to do business with you and that you want to do business with.
And now a word from rockstar agent and Rebus University graduate, Mr. Jeff Quinton.
Hello, my name is Jeff Quinton, and from Keller Williams, the Quinton Group. I service all of Southern New Jersey, and our expansion team is in the greater Philadelphia area. And just wanted to give a shout out to Rebus University, Pat Hyman and his crew. My team, what we've implemented right now is through our onboarding process, we have a learning management system called Learning Zen. And inside Learning Zen, in the very first 14 days when someone comes on our team, they have to go through and learn all the sales skills and sales training. And part of that is we require everybody to go through the Rebus University Certified Listing Agent course. And at the end of that, they've got to prove and got to come out and show us their certificate before they even get on the phone, before they even meet with a client, before they go out on any listing presentation. So what's interesting is that through this course, it's allowed me to leverage my time versus what it used to be, where I'd have to show them all of the listing presentations, spend time each individual, you know, for 20 minutes at a time or 30 minutes at a time. So now I can leverage it through the Certified Listing Agent course and then go back and role play with them what they've learned. So what I've learned right now is that when an agent goes through this course, they feel confident. And that's the key, is the confidence is so built because they've been able to see someone else do it, and then they practice it. And what's interesting is I've had so many agents. In fact, I've had over 20 agents go through this course and become certified. And a major portion of them go out on listing appointments when they're competing with another top agent, and they actually win the listing on the first try. The skills, the techniques, the dialogues, and everything that they get from this course. It's pretty incredible.
If you want the same amount of listings and the same extremely high close ratio that Jeff Quinton's agents get, just type in the coupon code CLA50 on rebusuniversity.com. That's REBUS university.com for, get this, 50% off the certified listing agent course. That's CLA50. You won't regret it. No, absolutely. I see that all the time. And when I was in the real estate game, I did TV commercials and stuff, and I would always have a call to action, right? You know, like, why should they call you? Why should they pick up the phone and call you now? Or several call to actions, and we do it now. You know, whether it's a coupon or an offer or whatever, you know, it's an offer or a coupon is a call to action. Right. Anything you get them to give you their email that you're going to give them a fair trade in return for them contacting you is a call to action. So without it, they're just not going to call you. Right. And unfortunately, the old fashioned call to actions don't work anymore. For a free market evaluation, right? It's not a call to action.
You're right. I can give you another example, Pat, if you'd like, about a pretty decent call to action that really ties right back into somebody's brand. We have a couple in Huntington Woods, Michigan, and when they came to us, they were huge animal rescuers. In fact, so much so that was really standing out too much in their marketing, and people would ask them, wait, do you guys do animal rescue, or do you
you guys got like 7 dogs and 42 cats in your house? Are you hoarders? Right? You automatically think of the worst.
Well, it wasn't quite to that level, but these cute little furry things were standing out in their ads, and these people are so genuine and so special. You know, and one of the things that we really delved into with their brand was that Patty, the wife, and Dan's the husband, and Patty was such a calming force with her clients that a lot of people would come to her after they've been through two or three people and didn't know she existed yet, and sort of, somebody says, wait a minute, you might want to go to this woman, like she's the one to go to because she's going to get all this stuff right. So in essence, she ended up rescuing her own clients many times. So they then became branded as Real Estate Rescue. And it was that whole double entendre, which we love. So instead of putting the animals out front and real estate on the back burner, we flipped that on its head and put real estate out front. And in all of their imagery, there are animals in their imagery way back in the background, organically, subconsciously, in all of their stuff, because they want to be who they are personally. And every closing, they give a portion of that of the proceeds to a local animal shelter. So they're really amazing human beings, and we wanted to showcase that, keep that flavor in there. So one of the calls to action we have on some of their materials is, let us rescue you from the chaos and complexity that is real estate. So basically, when somebody that is at their wit's end, either they can't find a home because of low inventory, or they're trying to sell their home and it's their 4th expired listing, or they've been through 3 real estate agents they hate, doesn't matter. If they see that somewhere, let us rescue you from the complexity and chaos, boom, that's just one thing, and then of course we go on to tell them how to contact them and how to touch base. But that's that strong statement to them that really ties back to the brand.
Wow. Yeah. Good stuff. Hey, here's some curious question. So what was Michael's brand that you built around him when he got back in the biz?
Michael, I'll let you answer that.
Well, we have 2. I have a personal one because we think everybody ought to have a personal one. Because of my experience in real estate, I am America's top selling real estate auctioneer. I've auctioned off and brokered more property than any one individual. in the United States. But the company itself, I had already logoed anything real estate. And when Tonya came in and she started revamping things and doing exactly like she's discussed on this call, she said, "Oh, I don't like that at all. That's way too broad. Anything real estate means
Yeah,
that
right.
you'll do anything."
Real estate.
Exactly. And I said, "Well, hold on just a minute. Now let me explain. Let me come at you a different way right here. I've got a construction company. We do investments with rental properties and flips. We broker properties and we auction properties. And we do commercial property." And she said, "Well, okay, when you start putting it all like that," but she said, "We're still going to have to differentiate it to make it stand out, because it's still going to sound like just anything real estate."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what we did was we took the anything real estate and then we made it very easy in a segmented way through a splash page for people to find exactly the service that they wanted. And then through that funnel, we're able now, as those calls come in, to be sure that they land in the right spot.
Yeah. I like the first one best because it kind of, if I want to auction my house, why not go to the, America's #1, that's done more, right? If you're going to have heart surgery,
Sure.
do you want a heart surgeon that's done, more heart surgeries than any other surgeon in the hospital?
Alexa.
So, yeah. Anyway, okay. All right, cool. So what's the last one?
We tripped Alexa, so sorry about that. But hey, I do want to say one last thing about Michael's personal brand and how this is a living, breathing thing. The reason we went toward that America's top selling real estate auctioneer is, number one, he was, so we could claim that, and that's pretty rare that you can claim something like that. So we had to do it, right? The other thing is, when you look at somebody in the messaging of the brand and the content behind the brand, another line we use is the confidence of over 68,000 transactions. So whether you're auctioning or selling, all of that pulled together, it gives his customers the confidence that this guy has done this more times than anybody in the country. I think I'm in pretty safe hands here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I love it.
So this last one is no follow through. And that's a huge mistake a lot of real estate agents make. So
What's that mean when you're branding? I mean, I understand what it means when it comes to prospecting for business, but what does that mean in the branding or the advertising world?
It means that if you stand on a platform and you say, "This is who I am, this is what I do for you," then you need to follow through and make sure.
Oh, I got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're not a false prophet.
You're not a false prophet.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. And that follow through is so very important. And it's important for many aspects, as you said, in prospecting too. But here's another thing, Pat. Think about it in terms of prospecting and blending the branding into it. You got 3 stages of that customer interaction. You got them before you meet them, putting that brand out there. We like to say we create brands that get people to want to do business with you before they even meet you. And then you've got the stage where you've met with that customer and there's active engagement there. And then there's, either you're doing business with them or they've kind of pushed you off or you're in a waiting pattern or whatever that is. And there's the back end of that follow through. And in that follow through, if you're not staying out in front of your customer with the things that make you and your brand stand out, if you're not integrating your brand on the back end too, then you're not doing your job of utilizing your brand fully. So if you send people, your monthly newsletter or put them in autoresponder campaign to just make sure you stay out in front of them to remind them consistently why you're the choice for them, you need to integrate your brand into there to tell why. Everything we do is about the why behind the logo, the why behind the person. Why does this person have this brand? Why are they best for you? And I'll sum this part of it up by saying we really look at, at everything, like the personal side, the professional side of things, but mostly we look at the why, because that's what people attach themselves to. Attach themselves to the human aspect of you.
So don't create a brand around how good of a mother you are or a matriarch you are with pictures of your family on your ads and stuff, but then show houses to people instead of going to your daughter's recital, because the people at your daughter's recital will be like, "Hey, she's a false prophet. She's all about family, this, that, and the other, but she can't even make the damn recital." So that's an example of
Yeah,
The
absolutely.
stuff you got to look out for, right? Be able to walk your talk.
You got to be real.
Mhm.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Okay, so let's talk about your free gift. As you know, everybody that comes on the show brings a free gift, an item of utility that agents can use in their business. We have close to 100 items of utility in our Agent Success Toolbox now that prior guests have brought. What special gift are you bringing our listeners today?
We actually have a basic branding course. We call it our Brand Builder training videos. And so there's 8 of our most powerful training videos in there that will really teach you why you should personally brand yourself, how to do it, how to inject it into your listing presentation, how to build your email list from it. So there's some of those, videos. It won't tell you everything, of course, you need to know about branding, but it'll give you a really, really good basis for why you should do this.
Do you have a checklist that goes with that, or a worksheet that goes with that?
Not with that particular one, Pat. They're all like sectioned off with different personal branding topics, so there's not with that. But we do have other checklists we can add to that, and we do have a checklist that's in the back of our book that I can send you, that if that would be helpful.
Yeah, that would be great, because we
Okay.
want everything to be all in one place so they could just print them out and that sort of thing. We'll put both of those in the show notes, which I'm going to put on hibandigital.com/brandface. That's hibandigital.com/brandface. And I'm going to put all of Michael and Tanya's information there, guys. If you want to reach out and contact them, we'll put links to their website. We'll put this free checklist that she's talking about, and also links to these videos. So it'll all be there. In addition, the entire toolbox will be at hibandigital.com/toolbox, or texting the word toolbox to 444-999. Michael and Tanya, this has been a blast. I wish you the best of luck, and I hope to meet face to face in the near future.
Hey, we would love that. We want to extend an invitation to you, Pat. We'd love for you to come on our Fearless Friday webinar one day.
Yeah, you got it. Just send me the schedule and I'll jump on.
You got it. We love it. We teach real estate agents how to take the fear out of putting themselves out there on that. And
there you go.
You've taken the fear out of doing podcasting for 8 years now, and probably have a whole lot more fearless stories to share.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Pat.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Real Estate Rockstars. If this free content is giving you a ton of value, I want to ask a small favor in return. I need you to pull out your pointing finger and hit the subscribe button. Yes, hit subscribe, please. The more subscribers that we get on Real Estate Rockstars, the better guests are attracted to the shows. We'll get more guests from the top companies, from the top teams, and even more celebrity guests like Robert Kiyosaki and Barbara Corcoran. Also, if you're not a member of our free Facebook group, go to Real Estate Rockstars Radio right on Facebook and join the conversation. I'm on there myself on FaceTime Lives, and we have a lot of communications and questions about the show, and I'd love to see you there. And it's free. People ask me all the time, where am I on social media? I'm real easy to find. Just type in my name. My IG is I am Pat Hyben. It is blowing up on Instagram, adding tons of subscribers, and I'm on there probably twice a day. So definitely follow me on Instagram, as well as everywhere else. Thanks again for listening, and keep rocking.